July 7th, 2025. A date that began like countless others, bathed in summer sunlight over the pine-lined highways of North Carolina. Yet by afternoon, it would be etched into the quiet annals of sorrow near the town of Sanford. I find myself retracing the last moments of a journey that commenced some 250 miles to the south, in Cocoa, Florida, a place where palm trees sway untroubled by fate. It was just past 11 o'clock that morning when a Cirrus SR22T GTS G3 carbon aircraft, bearing the registration November 5656 Mike, lifted off from Cocoa Merritt Island Airport. Inside were four souls: 35-year-old Travis Buchanan at the controls, his wife Candace, also 35, and their two young children, 10-year-old Aubrey and 9-year-old Walker. They were bound for a modest airfield nestled in Lee County, known as Raleigh Executive Jetport. Perhaps they imagined a peaceful afternoon ahead, free of complication, under skies that promised only stillness. As the flight progressed northward, the weather was nearly pristine. Reports from the hour before the crash tell of clear skies, visibility stretching 10 statute miles, and gentle winds caressing the earth at 5 to 7 knots. The air shimmered in the summer heat, 32, even 33 degrees Celsius, yet no storms gathered, no deceptive haze obscured the horizon. It was by all appearances an ideal day to fly. Shortly after 1:30 that afternoon, the Cirrus began its approach to runway 3 at Sanford. This was the phase when the comforting drone of the engine often mixes with relief, as pilots and passengers alike prepare to set wheels upon solid ground once more. But somewhere over a quiet stretch of pasture between Wallace Creek Lane and Riddle Road, something went terribly awry. Witnesses would later describe a sudden descent, the aircraft striking the earth with devastating finality. The plane, built in 2012 and lauded for its modern safety features, including a ballistic parachute system designed to save lives in dire moments, was instead found shattered across the field. Emergency crews arrived swiftly. They discovered 3 of the Buchanans had already perished amid the wreckage. The 4th, grievously injured, was rushed to UNC Hospital, where hope still lingered in the sterile corridors. But by nightfall, even that fragile hope dimmed, as doctors pronounced the final loss. The National Transportation Safety Board dispatched experts to sift through debris that by then lay strewn beneath the relentless July sun. The Federal Aviation Administration, too, began its methodical review, examining flight plans, radio communications, maintenance logs, every scrap of data that might illuminate the last minutes of November 5656 Mike. Yet in these early hours, there was no answer. No mechanical flaw disclosed itself, no record of distress calls, no weather anomaly to claim responsibility. In communities around Sanford and Cocoa, the shock reverberated. Neighbors, friends, even strangers paused to reckon with the delicate thread upon which every life hangs. News reports recounted the ages of Aubrey and Walker with hushed gravity. Local broadcasts carried images of the crash site, scorched grass, twisted fragments of what had been a vessel of family adventure only hours before. Reporters spoke softly of the Buchanans, careful not to pry too deeply into grief that remained painfully raw. And so I sit here, piecing together these fragile strands. I ponder the bitter irony that a machine celebrated for its ingenuity, one that many believe can outwit tragedy through engineering, alone proved powerless on this day. I consider the unknowable intersection of chance and human endeavor. Was there a sudden lapse of concentration? A hidden defect waiting through countless flight hours to emerge? Or perhaps a convergence of small miscalculations, each benign on its own, yet together sufficient to break the chain of safety? As I bring this account to a close, I do so not with conclusions, but with a humble respect for lives abruptly ended, for investigators who carry the heavy duty of uncovering truth, and for those left behind who must navigate the long, solemn journey of remembrance. Each flight that takes to the air carries with it dreams and expectations, and each safe landing, though routine in its frequency, remains a silent triumph over forces seen and unseen. On July 7th, 2025, that triumph faltered. And it is here, amid the gentle hills of North Carolina, that we are reminded of both the promise and the peril that travel through the open sky inevitably entails.